Friends, let's talk about self-sufficiency today. What does it mean to be a self-sufficient person? In general, what leads humanity to a state of self-sufficiency? As a psychologist, I can tell you that self-sufficiency is inner wisdom, the desire and ability to learn. After all, the more a person knows, the more competent he is in various issues of social life, the more sufficient he will be. A self-sufficient person will never envy anyone. On the contrary, the world around him and successful people will push him to become even more developed and self-sufficient. Developed, self-sufficient people never see fragments in the eyes of others. They always try to analyze everything they hear and see, understand and see the truth, and learn something from what they see, heard, or learned. This is precisely a person's ability and inner quality to be self-sufficient. A self-sufficient person always learns, no matter how old he is, how many diplomas he has, or what scientific degrees he has. A self-sufficient person is a sage who can always learn and correctly analyze, who can distinguish between truth and lies, who can have a deep understanding of life, to understand life correctly. These are people who always aspire to the summits of life, and these are people who understand that the top is always given only to the person who is able to go to it, who walks and follows correctly. And above all, these are people who understand themselves well. They are always very observant of themselves and very vigilant of themselves. They always try to understand the mistakes they make and correct these mistakes. They understand that the right decisions and the right experience that they acquire open up the versatility of their experience. And we gain experience only through great work. A self-sufficient person will never humiliate anyone, since he is self-sufficient and confident. And vice versa, seeing some mistakes of other people, he will smile and understand that a person still needs to learn something, since his opinion is such, but he will never argue and he will never assert himself at the expense of other people. Also, a self-sufficient person is always confident in his inner beliefs. His confidence is not based on any conjectures, inventions, phrases heard somewhere, or unverified information. A self-sufficient person is always convinced only because he knows, since there is a truth. I believe because I know. I know, that's why I believe. And it is knowledge, the presence of knowledge, the enlarged capacity of knowledge, the ability to always live in the state of the Supreme Source, always to see the information of the Supreme Mind. This is self-sufficiency. And when a person lives in a state of a higher source, in a state of divinity and purity, he will always be confident in the future. He is always confident in himself. It is such a person who is self-sufficient. Self-sufficient people understand what selfishness is and do not allow selfishness in their minds. Yes, they are full of knowledge. Yes, they are full of opportunities, because only knowledge and hard work open up opportunities for a person. Having all this, they are filled with an internal deep state of self-sufficiency, and they do not need to prove anything to anyone, convince or argue about anything. They just know that's why they believe. These are always successful people. Successful, self-confident, but not selfish. And their purity, openness and love, the inner state of divinity, allows them to understand every person. And these people really don't look for specks in other people's eyes, not noticing their own lacks. And only self-sufficiency opens up to a person the greatest feeling and state of self-improvement. These are people who are always learning. These are people who discover something new in this world every day. And these are people who accept both themselves and the world around them. Be self-sufficient, friends, which means learning. Learn every day.